Okay, so today we are going to do Module 2, Lesson 11. We are going to focus on multiplying decimal fractions by multi-digit whole numbers. So yesterday we worked on tenths place, so now we're going to move into practicing with the hundredths place as well. Okay, so here is our first problem. We're going to do 7 and 38 hundredths times 41. Again, and we're going to do our standard algorithm. We're going to stack it up. I want you to put the longest, not necessarily the largest, but the longest number always on top. So 7 and 38 hundredths, right? And we can think of this off to the side as hundredths times, and we're just lining it up all the way to the right. So not by place value when we multiply here. Okay, so now we're just going to do our standard algorithm how we would always do. We're going to forget about our 4, and we're just going to do the 1 in the ones place. So 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 3 is 3. And 1 times 7 is 7. So we have done our first digit times everything up at the top. Our ones place, right? Then we're thinking of this as our tens. So this is like the 10, so we're going to add our 0 in there. Don't forget that. So then we start with our 4, and we're going to start back to the ones. 4 times 8 is 32. So I leave my 2 and regroup my 3. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 3 is 15. Regroup my 1, and 4 times 7 is 28, plus 1 is 29. And then I'm going to put them all together. So I have 2 digits here, so I should have 2 partial products. I'm going to add 8, 6, 12, regroup my 1, 10, regroup my 1, and 3. So I need this because my answer or my problem was in hundredths. I need my answer to be in hundredths as well. So remember, when we have hundredths, that means that we have 2 digits after my decimal point. So that means I'm going to go to the end, 1, 2, and I know my decimal goes right there. So my answer is 302 and 68 hundredths. So our standard algorithm is the same. Everything else is just a little bit different. Okay, let's try another one. How about 8 and 26 hundredths times 128? Again, so let's rewrite it, stack it up. So I'm going to put my 8 and 26 hundredths at the top. Remember, this is hundredths. I'm going to write my unit off to the side over here. And then I'm going to stack up the 128 below it, 128. And then I'm going to line it all the way over onto the right-hand side there. So we're going to start here. We're going to, again, not think about our 1 or our 2. We're just going to think about our 8. So 8 times 6 is 48. I regroup my 4. 8 times 2 is 16, plus 4 is 20. Regroup my 2. 8 times 8 is 64, plus 2 is 66. So there is my first. I've done my 8 times each digit up top. Next, I'm going to move over. I'm going to go to tens. That means I'm going to put my 0 in here. So now, this was, remember, our ones place. This is tens, like the tens. So I'm going to think of this right here. 2 times 6 is 12. And I regroup my 1. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. I have nothing to regroup. 2 times 8 is 16, and I don't have another digit to regroup on, so I put my answer out there. So now I'm going to think of I've done my ones out of this number, I've done my tens, and now I'm going to do my hundreds place. So because we're in our hundreds, then we should have 2 zeros there. Now I'm going to go to the digit in the hundreds. 1 times, always go back over here to 6. It's 6. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 8 is 8. I have nothing else. Then I'm going to add it up. I can check. I have 1, 2, 3 digits here, and I have 3 partial products here. Now I add 8 to 12 plus 5 is 17, plus 1. Let's see, 12 and 3 is 15, plus 1, and 10. And then now I bring this all the way down over here. My problem was in hundredths. So I need my answer in hundredths. That means I need to have 2 digits behind my decimal, so I know my decimal goes right there. So we're still working on standard algorithm. All we're doing today is just making sure we add our decimal in the correct spot, and we're working on hundredths, which means I should have 2 digits behind my decimal point for every answer we do today.